Power BI community. I'm Patrick LeBlanc, Principal Program Manager, Azure Data at Microsoft. And welcome to the September 2025 Power BI Monthly Update. Here's a brief look at what's rolling out this month. And if you didn't see something you were looking for, check out the Monthly Update blog for a full list of features and updates. Let's kick things off with what's generally available this month. You can now edit your semantic models right in the Power BI service. Just open a web browser and start editing those semantic models. Direct lake models, live edit them in the desktop. No publish, no wait. They're just ready to go. Tyndall View is GA this month, or TMDL View, whatever you want to call it. Script your models like a boss. Fabric notebooks for Power BI. Now you can get Python-powered insights with best practices and the memory analyzer. NFC tag support in mobile. Tap your phone, launch your report. That's your GA features for this month. Let's jump into the preview features. First up, Enhanced DAX Time Intelligence. The Enhanced DAX Time Intelligence feature in Power BI lets you create and customize calendars within your data models, supporting fiscal, week-based, and retail calendars for more accurate and flexible time-based analysis. This preview offers advanced control over how data is mapped and calculated over time, enabling tailored reporting needs. Next up, Direct Lake on OneLake and import in web modeling. Web modeling for semantic models in Power BI now lets you seamlessly combine direct lake tables from OneLake with import tables, offering maximum flexibility. You can easily add new tables from a wide array of Fabric data sources or any supported connector, all within a single unified modeling experience. Lastly, DAX user-defined functions. DAX user-defined functions allow you to create reusable, parameterized, custom functions in DAX, making your Power BI logic more modular, maintainable, and easier to debug. This feature streamlines complex calculations by letting you write logic once and use it across multiple measures. Now, let's check out our demos and learn more about what's new and updated in September. First up, we have Enhanced DAX Time Intelligence.
Instead of relying on assumptions about your date columns, you can now define calendars directly in your model. That means Power BI knows exactly how your data maps to time. Let me show you how this works. First, you need a table in your model that defines how you want it to divide the year. For example, my date table here defines columns for fiscal year as well as any other calendars, including a 454. So you can see here that we map the year and the month against the fiscal month calendar. So our fiscal year starts on the 1st of July. That's why July 2025 is the first month of the 2026 fiscal year. We've also defined a 454 calendar, which you can see here on the right, that divides the year up in periods of 454 weeks. So that's why it's called a 454. So once you have all of that, you want to define the calendar by defining it on the table that includes the data information. So you right click on your table and you go to calendar options. Here, you can define your calendar by mapping the columns in your date table to categories such as year, quarter, month, week, and date. For example, this table contains 3 calendars: Gregorian, fiscal, and retail 454. Let me show you the fiscal calendar. It defines 4 categories: year, quarter, month, and date, and it's mapped to the columns inside of my date table that map to these units of time. On the retail calendar, I have mapped a different set of columns and a different set of categories. I also included week. Yes, you can now do week-based time intelligence calculations as well. So defining a calendar is very simple. You just match the columns to their categories and you click Save. Once your calendars are defined, using it in DAX is also very straightforward. Let's say you want to calculate that week-to-date sales based on the retail 454 calendar that we just defined. You can now use a brand new DAX function that is called total week-to-date that just does a total week-to-date of, for example, total sales against the retail 454 calendar. This tells Power BI to sum up sales to the current week based on your calendar's week definition. You can also do month-to-date and year-to-date just as easily. So now let's see these results in a chart. So here we see the sales and the week-to-date sales in the 454 calendar for 1 week. So you can see that indeed this works. It defines it within a week. Also, we can see this with a year-to-date. we can see that there is indeed a calculation that is calculating against the fiscal year to date, and it is indeed calculating the year to date value of sales. And at the bottom here, we have month to date against the 454 calendar. This shows that the data starts counting again for the month to date value around the 6th of July, because that is the date that the new month in the 454 calendar starts again.
We are thrilled to announce that editing semantic models in the Power BI service is now generally available. Let's take a look. In the Create page, I select this Get Data button, and from here, I can bring in data to do all sorts of reporting from over 100 different connectors. So what I do is I choose one of my Excel files, and I just dragged it over and connect to the Excel file within the Power Query experience. I select the tables that I would like to bring into my semantic model, then select to transform data. And in this case, I want to start off by just creating the semantic model. So I choose that option. I select the workspace that I'd like to create my semantic model into. And what this does is lands me in the web modeling experience, where I then can make edits to my semantic model all within the browser. I first decide to add relationships between the different tables, which was easy to do with auto-detecting the relationships. And I'm now able to see this really nice dimensional model. Next, I decide to define some DAX in my model, and this is really easy to do with the support of IntelliSense helping me define my DAX along the way, so I can easily and quickly make my measure all within the web. After I've made this measure, I decide I actually want to bring in additional data from a news source. I have an extra table from a different Excel file where I want to look at customer table. So I drag in this Excel file, and I select the customer table, which I would like to add to my model. Next, I select transform data, and I'm brought in again to the rich Power Query editor. And here I see that there are two separate columns for city and state. I would be interested in looking at this information within one column where I combine city and state. And I can easily set this up within Power Query editor using a custom column. It's easy for me to make this custom column using this dialog where I just say that I want a new column that combines city and state. And there I have it. I have a new city-state column created within the Power Query editor. I save these changes back to my model. And then now what I see is I have this new customer table from a separate Excel file added to my semantic model quickly and easily, all within the web. The last thing I want to do to edit my model is create a relationship between this new table and the other tables that I previously had in my model, which I can easily do by dragging and dropping. Now that I'm happy with how my model looks, I want to create a new report off of this model. This can all be done within the browser, and it's even easier than ever with the assistance of Copilot to create new report pages. So I just told Copilot that I wanted to create a report about customers by city-state, and it creates all the visuals for me. Here, I was able to quickly and easily make a new report and semantic model all within the web, never having to launch desktop. This experience is now generally available in Power BI.
Ever built a DAX measure so gnarly it looked like spaghetti code? Yeah, me too. But now there's a better way. User-defined functions in DAX let you write once and reuse everywhere, like reusable Lego blocks for your logic. Let's talk about average order value. It's a simple idea, right? Total sales divided by the number of orders. But here's how it looks in a typical DAX measure. This measure works, but it's verbose, repetitive, and fragile. We're manually grabbing the selected customer, repeating the same filter logic twice, and hoping nothing breaks. Now imagine you want to reuse this logic, tweaking the filter. You'd be copy-pasting and maintaining in multiple locations. Now here's the same logic, modularized. This measure simply calls a user-defined function called average order value and passes in the selected customer ID. Here's average order value. It's a simple function that calls yet another user-defined function called customer lifetime value. No duplication, no brittle filters, just plug and play DAX. Made possible with DAX user-defined functions.
We're excited to announce the general availability of live editing direct link semantic models in Power BI Desktop. As I add a measure in Model View, notice full IntelliSense support lighting up the DAX formula bar, just like what I'm used to when editing PBIX files. Both live editing direct link models, every model change is applied instantly to the semantic model in Fabric, whether it's a new measure, relationship, calculation group, and more. Now let's switch to DAX Query View. which also supports live editing direct lake models. I can write and run DAX queries directly in Desktop. With Copilot support, it's easier than ever to generate DAX queries and get suggestions to guide my analysis. Once the query runs, I can quickly review the results and even apply changes back to the model, all without leaving Desktop. Finally, you can toggle to Timdal view for a code-first editing experience. This gives you full control over your direct lake semantic model using the tabular model definition language, all within Power BI Desktop.
In this month's update, Power BI items shared in Teams can now open in separate windows. When a Power BI item is shared in Teams, it's delivered as a preview card. Previously, clicking Open on a preview card would open the item in the main Teams window, replacing your chat and any other open Teams apps. Now, with multi-window support, Power BI items that were sent in a chat open in a dedicated window. Your original chat stays visible in a side panel. You can view the report, continue the conversation, and use other Teams apps, all at the same time. You can also collapse the chat side panel if you want to view the report in full screen.
We hope you enjoyed the demos and picked up something useful this month. Each month, we highlight a community member that's making a positive impact in our community. Meet Miguel. He has been a Power BI community member since July 2016. His activity in our community has been quite impressive. Miguel has received more than 4,000 kudos, authored over 3,300 solutions, has over 11,000 replies, is a blog author, and a super user in our community. Thank you, Miguel, for all your hard work. When he's not active in our community, Miguel plays guitar and drums and serves as president of a nonprofit organization dedicated to teaching choral singing. Although he is knowledgeable in music and can play multiple instruments, singing in tune remains a challenge. Thank you for being a member of our community for the past 9 years. We appreciate your time and contributions. All right, that's a wrap for this month's updates. Try out the new features and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to visit our Power BI community forums for more tips and support. See you next month.